Hey everyone, after so many requests over the last few weeks, today I'll be finally showing you my iPhone setup. Before we get started, quick shout out to today's sponsor, Exter, with these super minimal, clean, beautiful wallets. Learn more at the link in the description and use that link for 30% off your purchase. Check it out. So it's been quite a while since my last iPhone setup video, which was pretty much over a year ago now, and throughout all of that time, there's been a lot of changes with my home screen. Now you might be thinking, Canoopsy, this looks eerily similar to the last iPhone setup video you did, and honestly, you wouldn't be wrong. It really took me a whole year to try every single home screen setup I could and eventually land back at this setup. However, there are some pretty big changes you can't really see with this setup at first glance. One of the biggest changes from the last setup is the actual phone I'm using on a daily basis. This is the iPhone 13 Pro Max 128GB model with the silver and white colorway. Now, I pretty much use this phone caseless every single day because I know how durable this thing is. I'm not really too worried about damaging this device. But on those days where I'm traveling or biking or shooting a lot of photos and videos with my phone, I'll slap my phone into one of these Nomad cases. They're clean and minimal, don't add too much bulk, and I like how they look. And normally, I truly have a hatred for screen protectors, but this year, since day one, I've been using the D brand Prism with no complaints. This screen protector is the best one I've ever used. It's crystal clear, super easy to install, and not obtrusive in any way during daily usage. They killed it here. Okay, enough about the iPhone. You know all about the 13 Pro Max. Let's talk about my home screen setup. So unlocking the phone, we're greeted with my main home screen, and yes, it does look pretty unusual. The wallpaper I'm using here is part of my brand new Fresco wallpaper pack that I launched a few weeks ago, and I'm super proud of this one. Link in the description. And the icon pack I'm using is one I actually designed by myself over a year ago, and I'm super proud of this one too, drawn all on the iPad Pro. It was a process, but I'm super happy with how this pack turned out. Link in the description as well. So the actual layout of these apps is definitely a bit weird and unusual, but it works for me. This is a huge phone and I'm also right-handed, and I want to make this super easy to access with just one hand where it's ergonomic, I can reach everything very easily, and that's exactly what I've done. So I've kept the home screen layout as clean and pure and minimal as humanly possible. There are no social media apps on the main screen, they're all kind of in the app library and in other places, so I just can kind of focus on the main tasks without getting super distracted by Instagram staring at me right in the face. It's a little bit hidden. I just have my main essentials on the home screen. There's maps, music, notes, and the camera kind of on the main screen area. Due to the way that iOS unfortunately handles custom icons, I couldn't have done a custom icon for the camera, but it's fine, it looks okay. Then in the dock we have Safari, Mail, Messages, and Phone. So no distractions, just the main phone functions on the main screen. But that's not all. So to get these blank spaces and make this unique layout, I'm using an app called Clear Spaces. It lets you basically place blank widgets wherever you want on the screen to kind of create a more customized, more flexible home screen layout. If you want to try Clear Spaces for yourself, check the description, be quick, there's a few free codes there, they're gonna go fast. But what I've actually done here is combined the Clear Space widgets with other widgets, creating a smart stack. My friend Benjamin, who's a super talented designer, actually showed me this home screen hack, and since then, I haven't viewed the iPhone home screen the same way. It's just so sick. What this basically lets you do is have a super clean, minimal home screen that really highlights your wallpaper and just looks beautiful and simple, but when you want information or other options, you just swipe up or down on these different hotspots on the actual display. And that basically switches the Clear Space widget to other widgets you add to the smart stacks. So for example, with my phone, at the very top of the screen, I have the calendar widget. So I can swipe down, I get my calendar, see what's going on, any events, and then swipe up, it's hidden. In the second hotspot, I have the weather widget. So I can check the weather, I can even tap on the widget to open up the weather application, close it, hide the widget, it's gone. And the bottom left corner, the one I use the absolute most, especially at home, is this music and AirPlay widget setup I have. So if I swipe up, it shows my AirPlay Siri shortcut widget. And if I tap this widget, it switches my iPhone audio output from my phone speaker or headphones to my Sonos One over AirPlay. I'm always playing music or podcasts at home. I love my Sonos One. To be able to easily switch the iPhone audio output just like that is the dream. And if I swipe down one more time, it shows the AirNay widget, which pretty much cancels the AirPlay output, switches back to the iPhone speaker, and pauses music. So that's the main home screen setup. Now, if I swipe over to the widget view, there's a bit more to look at here as well. At the top is the battery widget, so I can see where all my device batteries are at, as well as the activity widget, so I can see how many calories I've burned, how many minutes I've walked, how many hours I've stood up. It's just good info to have. Then below that, I have two Siri suggestion widgets. These widgets pretty much just show a whole bunch of apps that I use very frequently on my phone without them crowding my main home screen. I've also gone to settings for each application and hit do not suggest on all the ones that I don't want to see in this widget view. So all this widget view is going to show me is just the apps I want to see, and it's like having them all on my home screen without them cluttering my main home screen. It's a bit of a weird process, but hey, it works for me. Below that, we have another Siri shortcut widget set, which has once again the AirPlay and AirNay shortcut, so I can do the AirPlay on or off, as well as the vinyl shortcut, which if I tap, it opens up the Sonos application, so I can switch my output from the iPhone to my vinyl player, so my vinyls can actually play through the Sonos One speaker. And beside that is a Shazam shortcut. And if I tap this, even though Shazam is not installed on my phone, Apple actually bought Shazam, so it's all kind of built in now. It lets me know what's playing in the background at a coffee shop or out and about, and I can quickly add that track to my music library or copy it to my clipboard. It's super useful. And if we swipe over to the app library, we can see all the apps that are actually installed on my phone. Now look, I'll be honest, the apps I have on my phone are really not that interesting these days. I mean, there are a few cool apps like the Nike Run Club app, which I use to track my runs. They have the guided workouts. It's a great app. I have the Canon Camera Connect app, so I can use my iPhone as sort of a second display for my Canon camera, which is incredibly useful. I have all the usual suspects like Uber and Dropbox, some other utility apps for smart home devices I use, just kind of the usual things on my phone. And I also use a lot of the Apple stock applications because these days they're just so good. And in the control center, swiping down from the top right corner of the screen, there's a few changes here I've made as well. I've added all my HomeKit compatible devices here for quick access, like my thermostat, my lights, it's all there. I can just tap it, change the color, change the temperature. It's good to have. And then below that, I have a few quick buttons here like my flashlight, screen record, voice memos, which I use very often to actually record ideas or concepts or how to explain something in a video. It is an essential tool for creativity for me. And that, everyone, is my iPhone setup. Now I get it. It's a weird setup, it's not for everyone, but it's a setup that's very tailored to me and my usage. I think I'm gonna stick with this setup for quite a while this time. I'll try. Okay, let's talk about today's sponsor, Exter. They make these beautiful, minimal, ultra slim RFID blocking wallets that I personally love using. I've been using this aluminum one for the last few weeks, and they also sent over their leather version, which is also quite nice, and a MagSafe version to slap on the back of my phone. They're super thin and lightweight, made of excellent premium materials, they fit all the cards that I use on a daily basis, and they have this really killer mechanism. Just simply push the button and your cards pop out, and also, they don't fall out no matter what you're doing, they're gonna stay safe and locked in place. Ditch that horrible bulky wallet today and upgrade to one of these beautiful slim Exter wallets. And use my link in the description for up to 30% off your purchase. Thanks to Exter for sponsoring this video. And that's it. Let me know what you think of my iPhone setup in the comments down below. How can I make it better? What should I change? What do you hate? What do you love? Let me know. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe, and thank you for watching.